Hey friends, welcome back. It has been such a crazy week for us. We arrived in Richmond, Virginia about exactly 1 week ago, and we have started to move into this small house that we're renting for the year, and it has been totally insane. I think that moving is typically a crazy thing for people and all your stuff's everywhere for a while, but especially so when we were going from 2,500 square feet into 1,000 square feet, and when we moved in, nothing fit. So we're very much right in the middle of our move. We have some areas sort of set up, some areas of the house are completely unusable right now because they are filled to overflowing with piles of stuff that we've yet to go through. But I thought it'd be fun to give you a little walkthrough, an update of the process, and also share my top 3 tips for staying sane during a move. So if you're new here and you don't know what I'm talking about, check out the video about downsizing from our 2,500 square foot home in Texas to this 1,000 square foot rental home in Virginia while we figure out where we want to live and what kind of home we want to buy. I'll put that link in the description box, and I'll also try to put one of those little tags up here so you can check it out really easily. So we're 1 week in, and things I feel like are going really great, although not everything has gone according to plan, as always happens in a move. It all started when we got here. The house was empty. I was feeling really good. I started to paint because you can see I've, kind of part way here. I'm painting the whole house white. I'd gotten through part way painting this first room, and then the next day our boxes started to arrive. And the first truck pulled up and they started loading them inside. Everything was labeled. It was a full service move, and so we didn't have to move any boxes. We just told them which rooms to go in. But it was a little tricky to start because our rooms don't match up with the rooms of our old house. So we have 5 rooms in this house: a front living room, a back living room, a kitchen, and 2 bedrooms. And there's 1 bathroom as well. So I guess 6 small rooms. In our other house, we had 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, a dining room, a playroom, and a 2-car garage. So trying to tell the movers which boxes went in which rooms was just from the beginning a little bit tricky. And I ended up kind of saying, just put stuff wherever. We're going to have to go through it all anyway. That may have been a mistake because we're paying for it now a little bit, but the honest truth is that it was never going to be easy making this kind of a downsize decision, and so we're just going to muddle through and make it work. As they started loading boxes into the house, though, I asked them about, how many they thought there were, or how long it would take, and they had a truck with some crates of boxes in it, and they told me that was just the first truck, that they thought there were 2 or maybe 3 more trucks. So I grossly underestimated the amount of stuff that I thought that I had coming into this, and I think that that's normal. When your stuff is all put away in closets and cupboards, you don't notice it. When it's all out, packed into boxes, loaded onto trucks, multiple trucks, then you realize that you have more than enough stuff. So they put stuff in boxes in the living room and in the kitchen and in the back living room and in both of the bedrooms and in the hallway and in the bathroom, and there was still more. And so I ended up having them put things in the backyard, and we ended up with things in the front yard and things in the shed, and there was just stuff everywhere, and it was sort of a comedy of errors, as the refrigerator could make it into the living room, but it was too big to fit into the kitchen, and the washer and dryer were right in the middle of the room, and as things were loaded into the house, we had these pathways to walk in that just got narrower and narrower, and we were sort of scooting by things, and it was all just part of the process and a little bit unexpected. So we laughed our way through that day, and that's my tip number 1 for staying sane during your move. It's all about your attitude. Really, I think I say this all the time, but you have to just laugh it off, shake it off. You have to see it as an adventure, and we were able to stay positive by thinking this was hilarious, that our stuff didn't fit in our house, our refrigerator didn't fit in our kitchen. What are we doing? It was all a little bit crazy, and I think by reminding ourselves that it was going to be okay even though it was a total disaster was really helpful. In fact, my husband texted me this really great cartoon. It's this little dog surrounded by flames. His house is burning down, and he says, "This is fine. it's fine. We started to use that as sort of our mantra for this move. No matter what is happening, if it feels like the whole house is coming down, we just say, this is fine, it's fine. And that is helping us stay sane. The next day, day 2, the movers started to unload our things. And this was helpful on one hand because the boxes, the way that they had packed the boxes were so full of paper that we actually had a lot less items in the boxes than I thought. So as they started to pull things out of boxes, all of our piles sort of started shrinking. But then instead of having neatly packed boxes everywhere, we just had stuff everywhere. And as I take you on a tour in a second, you're going to see that there's still areas that just have stuff everywhere. So one of the benefits and detriments of using a full-service moving company is that if they unpack for you, everything gets unpacked at once. And I think in moves that we've done previous to this one, we've unpacked at our own pace. We've been able to see what we wanted when, and some things stayed in boxes for a long time, and that was actually fine. It was a good thing that we had boxes that were stored away of things that we didn't need. In this case, everything is out, and one thing that has been helpful about that is that we have been able to easily see what we don't need and don't want and things that we don't like or don't even remember that we owned, and those have been easy to donate and to get rid of because they're right in front of our face, so we just send them out the door. So that brings me to my tip number 2 for staying sane during a move. Part of the beauty of moving is this opportunity to start fresh in a new place. And I really think that one of the best ways to do that is to let go of things. Just let go of the things that if you pull it out of a box and it doesn't immediately sing, I love this, I'm so happy I have this, then it might be something that you're okay getting rid of. There are things that as I was unpacking into my closet, dresses that I made years ago, and there's this sentimental value, especially when you make something or when you buy it for a special occasion, or if you spend a lot of money on something and it was kind of a big investment, those create these emotional ties to our belongings that are not really necessary. And when you move and you have these fresh eyes because things have been packed away in boxes, is the just perfect time to pull it out and say, I don't love this anymore, and it's okay. I'm going to let it go. Someone else is going to love it more. Someone else is going to be able to use it. And not only that, but I'm creating space in my life for something new that I love to come into it. Or I'm creating space in my closet or in my living room or in my kitchen cupboards just to breathe and to feel like there's abundance in my life without filling every nook and cranny with something. So tip number 2 for staying sane during your move is being really willing to just let go. I can't tell you how many bags, I should have kept track of how many bags and boxes we have taken to the thrift store donation center. And it's things that I couldn't even tell you now. It's only been a week and I'm like, I don't know. All the stuff that we got rid of is not stuff that I needed or wanted. And so just be willing to let go. And a tip on getting rid of things, I felt like it was really handy to just go to the grocery store and get a giant box of bags of black garbage bags. I'm going to show you. I just went to look for the black garbage bags and I couldn't find them. I need to look one more time. They're not in there. Okay, I literally cannot find the box of bags right now. I have no idea where it is. So I thought I'd just bring you an example. This is a big black garbage bag. A lot of organizational tips will include like buying a bunch of totes. And that's great for storing things and stacking things, but I felt like they're pretty expensive just to put things in that I'm going to give away. And so, a box of 24 of these bags was like $5. They're really heavy duty. I got the construction variety. This one looks like it's filled with clothes that we want to keep, but we don't have anywhere to put yet because we haven't figured that system out yet. So get yourself a box of black garbage bags, and they're perfect. They're perfect to have on hand, to lay one out that you're putting things in that you're going to donate, put one out for garbage, actual garbage, because you're going to have a ton of garbage when you're moving. And then also you can put one out for things that you want to keep like this, and just make sure that you put them in separate places or that you keep track of which is which. But I felt like that was a really good way to be able to let go of things easily without worrying about what I was going to put them in when I take them to the donation center. So that's tip number 2. Okay, now I'm almost ready to take you on a tour, but I want to first just share tip number 3, and you're going to see this as we go throughout the tour. My tip number 3 for staying sane during your crazy move is to create 1 or 2 spaces right off the bat that feel like home to you. So for example, in our living room, we just set up the furniture, and I even styled it out. I put some flowers out. I put the plants around. I did the things that I will do in the rest of the house eventually. And the rest of the house is just a total disaster. But at least I have 1 space that reminds me that this is home and that it's going to be okay and that feels like me and that I'm proud of. So I think rather than trying to just do it all at once and having everything feel messy and insane all at the same time, choose 1 or 2 spaces to focus on first as like no drop zones. This is going to be somewhere that looks nice, that you're able to keep clean even as you're moving things to the side, and that you can kind of have a rest from the chaos. That will really help with your sanity. It will help you when you need to take a break from all the piles and boxes to have somewhere to sit and just feel like everything's fine. And it's been really helpful and confidence building as well to feel like we weren't sure exactly how this house was going to work for our family, but because I have this 1 space that feels like me, I already know that it's going to work out just fine. So, are you ready for a tour of the house? 1 week after our move, this is what it looks like. Let's take a look. So this is the living room. It's the main room of the house, and this is one area that I felt like after we got through the beginning of the crazy, we could start to settle in and make it look like home. The piles of artwork, waiting to find a place to hang, whole entry space that needs to be figured out. We did finally get the computer area set up, which means that we can do some work and do the printing that we need to do, and that's really helpful. So then you wander on through into the kitchen, and luckily we dug ourselves out. There's still a lot to work on in here, but we have a table and chairs set up. I got that new dresser built over in the corner so that we could put some of our things away. And there's lots of baskets and bins and things to try to organize while we figure out what we're doing in this laundry section. Most of the floors are just covered with things, like in this back living room where all of the leftover, I don't even know what most of this is. We haven't had a chance to get all the way through it, but we did get this couch set up where we wanted it. And then we just still have odds and ends and things happening all over. There's the extension cord if we need that. Honestly, it just feels really good to be able to walk through the hallways without bumping into too many things, because that was a problem for a while. The small bathroom is mostly organized right now. I have to figure out what we're going to do for storage in there. Our master bedroom is pretty well organized. We're working on solutions for clothing because we have more clothing than things to put it in. One of the issues with moving is just not knowing where things go yet. When there's not a home for things, they just end up wherever. And then ground zero is still this back room where the kids' stuff is. I mean, it's like the kids' stuff and everyone else's stuff, and we finally opened the door to the closet so it's usable, but we just have to go through, and I think once things are in bins and there's a bed set up and a dresser set up, then we're gonna feel a lot better about this space. Overall, I'm super happy with the progress that we've made, and I think with those couple tips that I shared earlier in the video that we are going to continue feeling sane and happy as we wade our way through this move. And I would love to hear from you in the comment section about what are your favorite tips for getting through a move happily and sane.